I'm losing myself, and I don't know who I am anymore. I try to think back to life before kids and marriage and careers, but I can't remember very much. But I do remember that I'm the mother of 2 sons with severe hemophilia A, and their chronic illness has made me a prisoner of despair. Hemophilia is a rare genetic bleeding disorder that affects approximately 1 in every 5,000 mostly male births in the United States. It's a disorder that if you have access to clotting factor, you can live a very full, empowered, healthy life by treating bleeds and even preventing them, like my oldest son, Julian, who's 19. But my Caleb, he's a different story. It's the wee hours of the morning, and we find ourselves yet again on the 6th floor of the University of New Mexico Children's Hospital. It's our home away from home. Caleb, my mighty 7-year-old warrior Caleb, he suffers from joint bleeds as a result of his hemophilia. His right knee and right ankle will often fill with blood, and it causes excruciating pain. And this night, his pain is off the charts. He's connected to a morphine pump and also given another medication to help him relax. But it's too much. Suddenly, my son is in this heavily sedated state, the kind of sedated state you would be in if you were on an operating room table kind of sedated state. I'm a crazed woman. I grab his swollen joint and rub it and rub it. Caleb, wake up, wake up. And a nurse comes in with another medication that's going to reverse the effects of everything he had been given. And within seconds, he sits straight up in bed, screaming at the top of his lungs. And I grab him, holding him closer and tighter than I ever have before. It's the most terrifying and beautiful moment, all in an instant. And for the rest of those wee hours, the beeps and whirs of the monitors, the hum of the dim lights, they keep me company until I find that I'm watching and counting every single breath that my warrior takes until sunlight fills the room and we're given another day. Caleb has a complication with his hemophilia called an inhibitor. Inhibitors are antibodies that basically eat up the clotting factor the minute it gets into the bloodstream, so stopping a bleed becomes very difficult. He was diagnosed when he was 11 months old with this inhibitor. And the level of the inhibitor, the Bethesda unit level reading was over 2,200 units. Normal is 0. This inhibitor kept my warrior in a wheelchair for over a year, using a walker, missing weeks of school at a time, field trip after field trip flying by, and he just didn't get to run and play with his friends at recess. And that is not how little boys in 2nd grade like to roll. But this isn't your typical experience of living with hemophilia. But the complications of an inhibitor can be life-changing. Chronic illness can destroy a person's life and the lives of the caregivers that surround them and love them. It can take away your identity and even destroy your family dynamic. Oh, aren't you the mom in room 11? No, I'm Cazandra. I didn't even have a name anymore. I could feel the life force just draining out of me. But no, stop it. I can't let this happen. I'm supposed to be Mama Bear, protecting her little cub. I didn't have time to worry about who I was. But we were losing. And hemophilia was winning. And this chronic illness has made me a prisoner of despair. So where does hope live? I asked myself over and over in the stillness of my mind. And let me tell you, going into my mind all alone, it's a dangerous neighborhood. But it was the place where I could hear my own heartbeat. It's where my strength and my hope would come together and reignite. It became my refuge. And for many of you, that could be your home, a favorite vacation spot, or even those moments you spend in intentional silent meditation or prayer. We can take ourselves there right now by closing our eyes and imagining that place of refuge and what it brings to our souls. And I learned that hope, it was a choice I had to make. And hope lives in the places you would least expect. It lives in the halls of a children's hospital, where the doctors and nurses and technicians, they do everything they can to take care of your child. But it's those moments when they open their hearts and share their lives and their stories with you, and all of a sudden, even if just for a moment, you feel like you're with family and not in a room with a very sick child. Hope lives in spite of the loss of an entire generation. Did you get that? An entire generation of hemophiliacs who were infected with the HIV virus during the bad blood epidemic in the 1980s. Hope lives because their family members and friends and our bleeding disorder community insist that factor products and the blood supply are safer now and for years to come so that we never forget. Life is filled with twists and turns, and I am so grateful for the paths that I have traveled. I'm not even close to being where I ever thought I was going to be, but it's an infinitely better place. And for now, my mighty 9-year-old warrior, Caleb, whose inhibitor level is a great big 0, is running and playing. He wants to sell his custom wheelchair. And recess, it's his favorite part of the day. Despair, it's no longer in this girl's vocabulary. I am Cazandra Campos-MacDonald. Won't you all join me? And let's become prisoners of hope.